I'll just open it up. Obviously, we all feel the same way. I think every guy over in our facility right now, we have a 17-hour rule that after 17 hours, it's over with. It doesn't mean we forget about what happened or we forget the feeling of what happened, but we move on. And our focus is on ourselves. How do we get better? And I think that's the thing that we're going to continue to talk about as a team all week. People are going to ask me about the matchups and how do you do this and what's this. And it's going to ultimately come down, probably a lot of your questions are going to come down, hey, we're going to look at ourselves. We're going to evaluate ourselves. We're going to figure out a way we can get better as a football team, get better as a football coach, get around our guys. We're making no excuses, whether they're young or they're old, but we're going to be around them as much as we possibly can and focus on how we can get better fundamentally at everything we do so we can go out and play football like we know how to play football.
We'll open up for questions. Bolt, you got the first question?
Yeah, Luke, you guys had a chance to look at the tape, obviously, and had a lot of difficulty throwing the football on Saturday. What did you see on tape, and will your plan this week be similar to what it was before with Joe starting and Braxton getting some time somewhere in that first half?
We don't know what the plan is just yet. I mean, we're gonna have these guys compete. We got an idea of what's going to happen, but until we see them compete in practice and see how guys handle situations and roles and different things like that, we're not going to make a complete judgment just yet. We're going to focus on ourselves. We know we need to get better. Yes, we had a hard time throwing the football, and sometimes we got to do some things to give ourselves a better opportunity to do that, whether it's loosening up the coverage or something. But it is what it is. We had some younger guys out there, and that's no excuse, and they got up on us and probably took away some of the things that we wanted to do. But when we have the opportunity to catch a couple balls, if we do it, I think we got a better chance. If we play a little bit better and keep us in a situation in the game defensively as well, then I think things will open offensively. So it all works together. I know when you focus on just one single part of it, it becomes a lot more obvious that you look at the stats and how what your completions are and how many yards you threw for. It's obvious. It becomes obvious, but sometimes if you do a better job around the board, you're going to have some more opportunities. We feel the same way defensively. We can just get ourselves one score in there, maybe a pick, have a chance at that touchdown. Now the game's it's a 7 or 6 point game, and they play a lot different as well.
Luke, why didn't you call any of your timeouts when you guys were on defense late in the game?
Well, we thought we were going to call a timeout right there. I think in their third down play that they converted. I think there was still a minute and a half left to go, and they actually ended up calling the timeout for us. So we got together and we were talking about it, and we said, well, you know what? We're going to need 2 scores, whether they kick a field goal here or what happens. So the only way that we probably best fit is for us to make sure we've got as many opportunities to call timeouts as possible. And probably if I went back and looked at it, the one that they called right there with only 8-10 seconds left, maybe should have saved ourselves 25 seconds right there. But as they came down, once they called the timeout on the third down before the last 4 plays, we had kind of decided, hey, we're going to need to save these unless we get into a situation because we're going to need 2 scores.
You didn't consider calling them any earlier in the drive when Miami was driving, 3 or 4 minutes left?
No, we didn't. We still knew we were going to need 2 scores, and our thought was if we're going to need 2 scores, we're going to have the ability to stop the clock offensively. They didn't seem like, obviously they were running it out, but, if we look back at a hindsight, the very last one, maybe it would have saved us 30 seconds in our minds, and then maybe we could have got a little bit of a breather. It's something that I always look back at, but our thought was, hey, we're going to, best we can, try and make sure we've got a couple to score twice.
Luke, you've talked several times about, over the past few weeks, about handling adversity because of all the suspensions and everything else you've had to deal with. You were really presented with some adversity with the 2 early touchdowns, the big run right at the beginning, some of the things you weren't able to do offensively. Were you surprised a little bit about how your players were not able to respond to adversity like that?
Well, I didn't see a lack of fight, and that's the thing that we're going to continue to focus on. I'm not saying that you say we didn't respond to adversity. Now, we didn't make some plays. That doesn't always mean we didn't handle it the right way. That's on all of us to make sure that we got to put ourselves with an opportunity to make some plays and to get them to the people that maybe can make them. But when we say how do you handle adversity, sometimes I look about it as, are your heads down, are your shoulders down, are you not fighting with it? I think we did. I think we'll put ourselves in a better situation, obviously, if it's not a 11-point game. And you know, defensively, we didn't handle adversity after the first touchdown, and that's probably why they got the second touchdown. How do we do that? You know, I sit here and contemplate. You know, we have such an incredibly high standard for those guys, and we preach it, that all of a sudden when something happens, it's such a letdown to them that it's hard. You know, and where's that? Hey guys, it's okay. You know, you don't want them to think it's okay to get scored on, but yet there you didn't see the emotion. It was almost like, wow, you could see the youth a bit, that they were shell shocked that they scored that easily instead of responding. And then we kind of gathered ourselves, I think, and we handled it a little bit better.
And just for fans out there who are worried about, I mean, you have a difficult schedule coming up. What's reasonable expectations for a team that's as young as this is and has as many things going against it, again, in terms of suspensions until you get players back? What do you hope that you can do over the next couple of weeks?
We hope to get better, and that's ultimately the thing that I can't do, the thing that us as coaches can't do, and us and every guy on the team can't do, is worry about what's going to happen in 3 weeks. Worry about what's going to happen in 3 months. Whether you're a senior, is it my draft status? Whether I'm hurt, oh no, can I get back to the, you know, is it a coach, or what's going to happen in 3 months? You know what? That will eat you alive. To me, we got to focus on every day. We just got done talking about it as a staff. We're going to focus, be around those guys as much as possible, coach them up as hard as we possibly can, making sure they understand that we have to get better. It's ultimately where you end and not where you begin, and we want to see improvement, and that's what our focus is going to be.
Luke, what did you, when you watched the tape, what did you like and not like about the play of each of your quarterbacks?
I mean, again, we turned the ball over. That's the obvious, you know. We missed some shots when we had an opportunity to do it. You know, that's obvious as well. But you know, just the way we handled, the way we continue to battle. I don't know that I can sit here and point a finger at saying I didn't like when he did this, I didn't like when he did that. You know, I think it's a whole group, and we try not to focus. I know we want to, and you guys want to ask questions about one position, but I think it's a whole. I think we help him out defensively if we put ourselves in a situation. I think we help him out offensively if we give him some more opportunities. You know, but it was the way it went, and you know, he didn't have a lot of opportunities, either one of them, because of the guys locking up, and they did a good job at that. So I can't pinpoint one single thing, other than we got to get better all across the board.
Did you give any thought at all to Kenny Knighton or even Taylor Graham?
No, I don't think that was ever, you know, something. You know, who went with the week? You know, who practiced? Who was going? I mean, what were they doing to us that Kenny would give us, or what were they doing to us that Taylor would give us? You know, I mean, it wasn't something that you know, we just thought those guys weren't doing. I think it was a combination of everything. I mean, they were doing a good job defensively for what we were doing. You know, and when you're down 11 and you can't just pound it and run it, you need to make some things happen. I think it put us in a situation where you know, we didn't do a good job at handling it.
Luke, the ball security issues with Braxton, was that something you guys have seen or were worried about, or what do you attribute that to?
I think that's pretty much always something with a young guy. How do you hit quarterbacks in practice? You know, you just don't do it. I mean, we took the jersey off of him for a little while in our jersey scrimmage, and he did a good job of holding on the ball. So is it something you hope comes with realizing what the situation is? Yeah, I mean, can you really practice it? I don't think you can go and practice and try and hit him, but you can strip at the football and make sure that they're aware of it. I think that's the biggest thing, is we just got to get better. We got to be aware of what the situation is. You know, I mean, I think we had 2 fumbles all last year. I don't want to exactly tell you how many we've had already this year, but I can tell you it's almost 3 times or twice as many in 3 games. So we got to get better.